You hold a remarkable and undeniable influence over your person, so much so that, whether consciously or unconsciously, they find themselves constantly moving in your direction. It's as if something about you serves as a guiding light, drawing them forward no matter how many twists or turns life presents. Since the very day you stepped into their world, something within them shifted. You awakened a spark, a pull towards self-discovery, and a deep desire to unearth passions and talents they had long buried or perhaps never even realized existed. This inner awakening has made them see you not simply as someone special, but as their ultimate match and one of the greatest blessings to ever enter their life. You have a way of setting higher standards, not in an intimidating way, but in a way that inspires growth and self-improvement. You carry yourself differently. There's an aura about you that cannot be replicated, something far beyond surface-level beauty or charm. It's not just in the way you look, speak, or carry yourself, it's something deeper, something intrinsic to who you are. Your energy radiates warmth, strength, and authenticity. It doesn't just attract them, it captivates them, leaving them unable to fully understand why they feel so pulled toward you. In their quiet moments, they've reflected on their own actions and choices, and they know they have not always been brave. They've acted in ways that could be called cowardly, and yes, they've been selfish. At times, it may have felt like the connection was entirely one-sided, with you giving more and them retreating. And in some ways, that perception would be correct, they were holding back. They were hesitant to give all of themselves, not because they didn't care, but because fear held them in place. Then came separation. And while distance can sometimes weaken feelings, in this case, it only made them stronger. Being apart from you forced them to confront what they truly felt. They came to realize that what they feel for you isn't fleeting, it's deep, lasting, and powerful. You are not someone they can simply forget, and they've learned that the connection between you is not something that comes around more than once in a lifetime. Your person has reached a point where they want to tell you the truth, about their feelings, about their fears, and about why they didn't choose you before. It wasn't that you weren't good enough. In fact, it was quite the opposite. The depth of their feelings for you was overwhelming, and with that came the realization that being with you would require real change in their life. They feared that in order to have you fully in their world, they would have to sacrifice certain things, habits, people, comfort zones, even parts of their identity as they once knew it. And so, instead of stepping forward, they stepped back. They chose to retreat into a space where they could analyze the situation, evaluate their priorities, and sort through their emotions. At the time, it may have looked like rejection, but in reality, it was a moment of reckoning for them. They wanted to be sure that when they came toward you, it would be without hesitation, without guilt, and without the weight of unresolved issues hanging over them. They have spent this time apart not only thinking about you but also working on themselves. They've begun to see that love, real love, requires courage, and courage cannot coexist with constant fear. They know they cannot come back to you as the same person who left. They need to show you that they've grown, that they understand the value of what they nearly lost, and that they are now ready to give you the openness, commitment, and emotional honesty you deserve. What draws them toward you now is not just longing or attraction, it's the clarity of knowing that life without you feels incomplete. They've discovered that your presence brings them balance, focus, and joy, even when things aren't perfect. You challenge them in all the right ways. You encourage them to dream bigger, to expect more from themselves, and to live more authentically. It's not an easy journey for them, after all, change is rarely comfortable, but they are beginning to see that every sacrifice they once feared might actually be a step toward a more meaningful, fulfilling life. They are beginning to understand that love is not about convenience, it's about choosing someone despite the difficulties, the adjustments, and the unknowns. They realize now that choosing you would never truly be a loss. It would be an exchange of the superficial for the profound, of temporary comfort for lasting connection. And that realization is slowly replacing their fear with determination. As they prepare to step forward, they are carrying with them a new sense of resolve. They want to show you, not just with words, but with actions, that you are worth every effort, every change, and every leap of faith. They want to bridge the gap that has grown between you and prove that the love they feel isn't just talk, it's something they're ready to nurture, protect, and fight for. To them, you are not just another person who crossed their path. You are the catalyst for their transformation, the mirror that reflects both their best self and the areas they need to improve. And they know now that the connection you share is not something to take lightly. It's rare. It's powerful. And it's worth everything. You are the most special and valuable person in my life. There is not a single day that goes by when I don't think about how much you mean to me. The distance between us has been harder than I ever thought it would be. At first, I told myself I could manage, that time apart would be a small challenge compared to the bond we share. But as the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, I began to realize just how deeply I miss you. It's not just the physical distance, it's the absence of your presence, your voice, your touch, and the way you make even the most ordinary moments feel extraordinary. Sometimes, the loneliness hits me unexpectedly, like when I see a sunset we once admired together, or when I hear a song that reminds me of you. Those moments are bittersweet, they bring back cherished memories, but they also remind me of how much I long to create new ones with you. Even so, I manage to stay grounded because I think of you. In my quiet moments, when life feels overwhelming, I replay in my mind the lessons you've taught me. You've shown me how to carry myself through life with grace, how to handle my problems without pointing fingers or blaming others. You've encouraged me to take responsibility, to be resilient, and to face difficulties head-on with courage rather than fear. You taught me the importance of kindness, both towards others and myself, and reminded me that empathy is not a weakness but a strength. Because of you, I am a better person, more patient, more understanding, and more willing to see the good in the world, even when it's hard to find. I often wish I could tell you these things in person, looking into your eyes and letting you see the sincerity in my words. I wish I could express just how much I respect you, not only for the love you've given me but for the person you are, your integrity, your compassion, your determination. You have brought so much light into my life, and since the day I met you, my heart has been overflowing with love, passion, and happiness. You have given me a sense of purpose, and you've reminded me of the beauty that still exists in the world. Before you, I didn't realize how much I had been missing. Now, I can't imagine a future without you in it. Although we haven't seen each other for a while, the thought of being reunited keeps me going. It gives me a reason to push through difficult days, to wake up with hope, and to look toward the future with confidence. I know that the moment I see you again, every second of waiting will have been worth it. The distance might be testing us, but it's also strengthening us. It's teaching us patience, perseverance, and trust, qualities that will only make our relationship stronger when we are finally together again. I often think about how blessed I am that the divine crossed our paths. There's no doubt in my mind that you were sent into my life for a reason. You are, without question, the most caring and loving person I have ever met. Your compassion is genuine, your kindness is effortless, and your love is the kind that transforms everything it touches. You have a way of making people feel seen, understood, and valued. I consider myself incredibly fortunate to be one of the people who gets to experience that love up close. Sometimes, I find myself watching other couples in quiet moments, walking hand in hand in the park, sharing a coffee at a small cafe, laughing together as though nothing else in the world matters. When I see them, I can't help but think back to the times we did the same. I remember our walks, where the world seemed to fade into the background and it was just you and me. I remember the comfort of your hand in mine, the warmth in your eyes, and the way you always seemed to know exactly what to say to make me smile. Those memories are treasures I carry with me, little reminders of what we share and the life we're building together. But more than just missing the past, I find myself daydreaming about the future. I imagine the day we'll see each other again, the first embrace after so long apart, and the way everything will feel right again in that moment. I picture us making new memories, exploring new places, sharing quiet evenings at home, laughing until our cheeks hurt, and simply enjoying the everyday moments that, with you, feel extraordinary. These visions aren't just fantasies, they are promises to myself, reminders that what we have is worth every mile, every day, and every challenge. So even though this distance is hard, it's a temporary chapter in our story. Our love is too strong to be diminished by time or space. You are my partner, my confidant, my greatest teacher, and my truest friend. And no matter how far apart we may be right now, I carry you with me in every thought, every decision, and every beat of my heart. Right now, your partner is experiencing an intense wave of desire for you, one that runs deep, touching them at a profoundly sensual and emotional level. Even if they are not saying it outright, they may be sending you subtle, almost imperceptible signals, especially on an energetic plane, revealing how much they crave your presence and miss you. This longing is not fleeting, it carries a depth that suggests they are yearning not just for physical closeness, but for the kind of connection that heals, comforts, and awakens the senses. Their thoughts about you are raw, unfiltered, and passionate, flowing from a place that is entirely genuine. They are tired of living a double life, of wearing a mask to hide what they truly feel and want. The truth, stripped of all pretenses, is simple: they want to be with you. Being near you feels like home to them, a safe, warm, and natural place where they can be their truest self. Without you, they feel incomplete, as though a vital part of their identity has gone missing. Your presence, even when distant, gives them a sense of grounding and emotional stability that they cannot replicate anywhere else. At the moment, they are patiently waiting for the right time to move closer to you. This waiting is not idle, it is intentional, filled with quiet observation and planning. In fact, they may even be keeping a watchful eye on you through indirect means, perhaps by following you from other accounts or finding subtle ways to stay connected without drawing attention. This may be because they are not yet ready to show the fullness of their emotions or because circumstances require them to tread carefully. One important thing to understand is that your spiritual awakening has unfolded at a more rapid pace than theirs. You have already reached a place of clarity, insight, and self-awareness that they are still working toward. They may need more time and space to process their own feelings, confront their fears, and create a plan for moving forward. While they do this, it is essential for you to keep focusing on your own growth. Continue to manifest goodness in your life, nurture your own dreams, and embrace the empowering freedom that comes with independence. Your partner still carries certain inner blocks, emotional, mental, or even situational, that are keeping them from stepping fully into the closeness they desire with you. They cannot simply bypass these obstacles, they must work through them in order to approach you with a clean slate. You, on the other hand, are now vibrating on a higher, more aligned frequency. You've gone through the deep work, released heavy baggage, and stepped into a version of yourself that is more attuned to your own truth. This difference in energetic alignment means that, for the relationship to flourish, they too will need to raise their vibration and meet you at the level where you now stand. It's worth remembering the early stages of your own journey. Think back to the time when you experienced the dark night of the soul, that period of deep inner turmoil, self-questioning, and painful shedding of old patterns. You faced difficult emotions, learned hard truths, and confronted parts of yourself that needed healing. It wasn't instantaneous, it took time, space, and patience for you to emerge on the other side, stronger and more whole. That same process is now unfolding for your partner. Just as you once needed compassion and understanding during your transformation, they now require the same from you. The challenges they face are not signs of weakness or a lack of care, they are steps in their personal evolution. Some of their hesitation may come from fear of vulnerability, uncertainty about the future, or the weight of external responsibilities. Their desire for you is real, but they want to come to you in a way that is lasting, stable, and aligned with the life they envision for both of you. In the meantime, the best thing you can do is to hold space for them while staying deeply rooted in your own path. This means not putting your growth on pause, not shrinking yourself to fit into a version of the past, and not becoming consumed by waiting. Continue to fill your life with joy, creativity, and opportunities that nourish your soul. The more you expand into your fullest self, the more magnetic your energy becomes, not just to your partner, but to all forms of abundance and love. Patience is not about passively standing still, it's about trusting the process while actively living your truth. It's about seeing the bigger picture, that every delay, every pause, and every step back is ultimately part of the unfolding journey toward a deeper and more authentic connection. When you look at this from their perspective, you can begin to understand that the space between you now is not a void, but a bridge that is still being built. Your partner's path toward you may be slower than you wish, but it is still moving forward. The intensity of their desire, the longing for your presence, and the sense of home they feel with you are all signs that this bond runs far deeper than physical attraction. This is a soul-level connection, one that requires not just passion, but patience, not just desire, but dedication. So, breathe deeply, stand in your strength, and trust in the timing. You've overcome so much already, and this part of the journey, while challenging, is preparing both of you for something richer, steadier, and more aligned than what you've experienced before. Just as your own transformation once required space and grace, so too does theirs. Hold them in compassion, even from afar, and let the unfolding happen at its natural pace.